On today's video, we are gonna make the most luxurious chocolate ice cream you're probably ever gonna eat. There's a fair few components to it, but it's all relatively simple, so let's get on and make it. Now, before we go too far into this ice cream video, for the first time on this channel, I want to ask something of you, all of you watching. If you're an animal lover, this might hit home. Very, very good friends of ours have a dog called Maisie. She's only 2 years old. She has unfortunately got problems with her back legs, which means she really struggles to walk. At only 2 years old, you can understand that there's a lot of life left for her, but the operations she needs are going to cost 10,000 Canadian dollars. Now, our friends are a single earning family. One of them is at school full time and the other one works for an airline. I'm asking you personally, if you can help out, please head over to their GoFundMe page and offer any support that you can. I've donated from the business. My wife has also donated individually. Even if it's $1, every dollar will help get Maisie the care she needs to have a better life. Thanks for listening to this pledge, and let's get on with the ice cream. Chocolate ice cream, surprisingly difficult to do it well. There are so many, like there's probably more bad vanilla recipes, but closely followed by bad chocolate ice cream recipes. But once you start getting into the intricacies of making your own ice cream and how to make it better than any ice cream that anyone has ever given you before, we need to start breaking down why some ice cream is better than others. And this is where chocolate ice cream becomes quite complex. There's a fair few ingredients that are going into this. There's not that many substitutions available to you. So we've got standard sugar, skim milk powder. This is 0.1% fat milk powder. No, you can't use whole milk powder. Dextrose, corn syrup, golden syrup. I'm using golden syrup in this one because the flavor, or the caramel note flavor of the golden syrup actually is what builds this ultimate luxury chocolate ice cream. Vanilla extract, and then we've got high quality milk chocolate and high quality cocoa powder. I'm using Ghirardelli Dutch here. Please use a good quality one. You've got Cacao Barry, that's really good. Obviously Valrhona, that's excellent. You've got Guitard's Rouge, which is also incredibly good. Ghirardelli Dutch, really, really good. Less chat, more make. What are we gonna need? Because there's a fair bit going into this, I'm gonna put it up on the screen for you. I will put the cup measurements next to the gram measurements, but I do say this a bit, try and get a gram scale. They're so cheap these days, and that is what's gonna take your ice cream from pretty good to excellent, because you can actually weigh out the components accurately. So for the ultimate chocolate ice cream, you're gonna need 450 grams of 2% milk, 550 grams of whipping cream at 33 to 35% fat, 140 grams of sugar, 44 grams of dextrose, 10 grams of corn syrup or golden syrup, 40 grams of skim milk powder, 50 grams of cocoa powder, 40 grams of milk chocolate, 2 grams of stabilizer or stabilizer blend, and 2 grams of vanilla extract. There we go. If you're brand new to making homemade ice cream, this is gonna be a difficult one. There's a fair few ingredients, but it is actually quite straightforward to make. So let's get started. I'll talk as we go. 450 grams of our milk, 550 grams of our whipping cream. Into this, we're gonna put 10 grams of our golden syrup. You can buy golden syrup in Walmart, Safeway, if you're in the UK, any shop known to man. What we have here is our skim milk powder and our sugar. Doesn't make any difference if it goes in one container or another. There's no stabilizer in this mix here, so it doesn't make any difference. What we can do is just put the whole lot in. Whisk that together because we want the surface of our dairy clear to put the other ingredients in. Now what we have here is probably the only optional ingredient in this is lecithin, an emulsifier. Sunflower lecithin, soy lecithin, doesn't matter. Lecithin is what is in egg yolks, and that is an emulsifying ingredient which combines fat and water together and keeps them there. You don't need this because chocolate has lecithin in it as well, but we're going for the best chocolate ice cream that you're ever going to eat, so why not? If you decide to use it, then use 3 grams of your lecithin. I've got it in here with my stabilizer and my dextrose. This is my own stabilizer blend, 4-2-2 with the stabilizer, with the emulsifier, not stabilizer. We're just going to stir this together. In it goes. Stir that together. We've only got a few other ingredients to go in here. Vanilla is going to go in right at the end. We've got our cocoa powder here, which is our Ghirardelli Dutched. Excellent cocoa powder. We can just put that in and slowly stir that. It'll be quite difficult to get that mixed in. Just keep stirring it. It will go. And as we heat it up, that will actually help. The fat in the cocoa will start to break down and mix into your dairy. So with the cocoa powder mixed in, you'll see it will kind of look mottled, that surface. And that's because the cocoa powder hasn't broken down yet. All right. And finally, the chocolate. You can just put the chocolate in here, cut it up, don't cut it up, it doesn't make any difference. It will just take longer for that chocolate to melt down as we heat it up. So let's get on hob. So with our pan on the hob, we're now just gonna bring this up to the temperature required by our stabilizer, which is 85C or 180F or 185F, whatever it is. So as you start coming up to temperature, you can see all the cocoa powder is completely emulsified together. So we've got a really nice homogeneous mix here. If you don't have a thermometer, then what you need to do is look at the edges. We don't want to boil any ice cream mix ever. If you don't use a stabilizer, then you just need to heat it up to emulsify the ingredients and homogenize the mix. But I do recommend you use one. Ideally, we're looking for about 3 to 5% evaporation rate. Quick mention about the evaporation rate. We do that because in a pasteurizer, in a commercial environment, by pasteurizing a base, you are bringing it up to temperature, and the machine has a paddle inside and a heating element. It heats it up, stirs it, agitates it. It homogenizes the base as it pasteurizes it at the same time. During that, we get around 5% evaporation rate. Some pasteurizers, you can actually set the evaporation rate and it weighs the base as it goes through. At home, we don't have that luxury. We can, if you measure by grams, weigh all of your ingredients before you put it on the hob and then measure it after. That gives you the percentage evaporation by weight. The purpose of the evaporation is to help thicken the base by removing excess water. The excess water removal also aids ice crystal formation, stops that excess water creating large ice crystals as it freezes. We use the stabilizers on this science-based channel to allow us to bypass some of that, but you will always get a better result if you allow a 3 to 5% evaporation of your ice cream base. Finally, before we move on to the next stage, yes, you can do this for your Ninja Creami as well. This will work perfectly as it is, no adjustments required. All you need to do is let it age. This is another super important part of this ultimate chocolate ice cream. Aging a base increases flavors, allows flavors to combine to create something super special. We've been off the hob for about 5 minutes and it's cooled down probably around the 60 centigrade range, something like that. What we can do now is put in our vanilla extract. We don't put it in while it's on the hob because around 80 degrees, the alcohol starts to evaporate. And along with that, we lose a lot of the vanilla flavor. So add extract to a cool or cooling base, not to a hot base. So with all of those ingredients in, we can now put it in a container and we can pop this in the fridge. You've got two options here. You can cool it down in an ice bath, nice and quick, and then put it in the refrigerator overnight. Or you can just leave it out for half an hour and then put it in the refrigerator. It's 33 degrees C here today. I'm not using up ice to cool this down nice and quick. I'm gonna leave it out with the lid on for 30 minutes, then I'm gonna pop it in the fridge. Leave it in the fridge for a minimum of 12 hours. This is what's gonna make the difference, all right? Don't rush this one. This one, make the day before, churn it the day after. There you go, chocolate ice cream. Not as easy as people, or some people seem to think. Chocolate ice cream is actually one of the hardest ice creams to get right. It goes hard because there's additional fats in there. It's a powder, so it's absorbing water. And ultimately what it does is create something that tastes good, but is generally quite hard to scoop. Being an ice cream channel, we know that we can adjust the softness, texture with things like some types of sugar and stabilizers and emulsifiers, and gives us this. It's hot today. It's another 33 centigrade day. What's that, like early 90s? Everything is melting super fast. You can't avoid ice cream melting. Don't ask me how to stop it melting. I'm gonna tell you the same thing. It's ice cream. It should melt. Let's see what this chocolate ice cream tastes like. Oh yeah. I don't often just eat the ice cream straight away, but man, that was good. Good ice cream. What's different between using cocoa powder on its own and cocoa powder and actual chocolate? Totally different flavor profiles. This is Valrhona Tanariva, 33%. 33% cocoa solid. So this is a solid milk chocolate. The Ghirardelli cocoa powder also gives you a milk chocolate profile flavor. So what you get is this combination of different milk chocolates combined to create something really, really nice. The additional chocolate gives you higher solids content, higher fat, means less cream that we can use. I mean, this is not a low fat ice cream, I'm not gonna lie. You can play with loads of different types of chocolate, different flavors of chocolate. You can make it with mint chocolate and add a touch of mint to it. You can do it with orange and any chocolate you like. Go back and watch, there's cocoa powder everywhere. Go back and watch some of the other episodes of the chocolate series. It's my favorite flavor, chocolate ice cream. It's absolutely destroyed by most ice cream scoop shops, ice creameries. They absolutely butcher it because they don't care. They buy the cheapest cocoa powder they can get and make a chocolate ice cream out of it and hope that it tastes good. You know, ultimately, if you're a scoop shop owner, use something good for fuck's sake. Use something like Valrhona, Guittards, Ghirardelli, Cacao Barry. All of these will give you head and shoulders above everyone else chocolate ice cream. Don't be a cheap ass. Consumers are paying a lot of money for ice cream these days, so give them something worth eating. Quick reminder, please help out Maisie with her operation. Link in the description below. And thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.